Hello everyone and welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about the old world because Grand Cathay is getting its next arcane journal going on pre-order today, The Breaching of the Great Bastion. A big thank you to Games Workshop once again for sending me the book because I very much appreciate it, and I'm a big Cathay fan at the moment, so I'm really enjoying what we're seeing here. Now, there is a lot to talk about in this book because we're getting a brand new Grand Army composition alongside new units, loads of different rules. Let's just jump right in. So the Grand Army has changed, so let's jump into this because obviously we got a brand new amount of units and stuff has been moved around. So for characters, after 50% of your points value may be spent on 0 to 1 Cathayan dragons per 1,000 points. We still only have Miao Yin. 0 to 1 Shugengan Lords, Gate Masters, Lord Magistrates, or Supreme Astromancers per 1,000 points. So yes, the Shugengan spam is kind of going away. It's a bit of a sad one, but it was kind of expected. And then as many Shugengans, the generic ones, Gatekeepers, Strategists, and Astromancers as you want. Then core is 25%, and here's where things do change. As many Jade Warriors and Peasant Levy as you want, but Jade Lancers had been moved. However, if your general is a Gate Master or a Gatekeeper, 0 to 1 units of Jade Lancers may be taken as a core choice. So the cavalry spam is going to go away for a while, which is kind of expected. Special is up to 50% of your points value may be spent on it, as many Jade Lancers, Crane Gunners teams, and Iron Hell Gunners as you want. Also 0 to 2 war machines chosen from the following list per 1,000 points, which is Fire Rain rocket batteries and Cathayan Grand Cannons. They're still keeping that distinction there because there are other war machines in Lore and in Total War, which hopefully will eventually make their way here. Hopefully we don't have to wait for another 2 books. Then, if your general is a Shugengan Lord or a standard Shugengan, 0 to 1 Cathayan Sentinels may be taken as a special choice. And if your general is a Lord Magistrate or a Strategist, 0 to 1 Sky Lanterns may be taken as a special choice. Finally, rare is 25%, so that is Sky Lanterns and Cathayan Sentinels. Once again, kind of standard. You get the 20% on mercenaries, and then obviously you do have your allied stuff, which is basically just, you know, Dwarfs, Empire, all the rest, so nothing really to talk about over there. It's been a nice change so far. Getting a bunch of new units in is just a lot better. A lot better. We're still not quite at the Total War roster just yet, especially since new Total War DLC is coming, but this is good. This is a very good start, and it's definitely a lot better than the original release. As cool as it is, don't get me wrong, because I've got a lot of them painted, you guys have seen it, I just really wanted some more, like, units in there, especially now that the lantern was nerfed, which was kind of needed. But yeah, it made one unit not as viable anymore. Now, interestingly enough, that's not it. We do have another army list known as the Warriors of Wind and Fire, and this is kind of done as like your peasant army stack. So, characters is 0 to 1 Lord Magistrates, Gate Masters, or Supreme Astromancers per 1,000 points. Then you can have as many normal Shugengan, Gatekeepers, Strategists, and Astromancers as you wish. This is 50%. It's not too bad. It's just focusing around not being able to use your general characters. For core, you have 25%, which is 1 plus unit of Peasant Levy and then as many as you want. As many Iron Hell Gunners as you want in case you want to really use a lot of shooty boys. And then 0 to 1 units of Jade Warriors per 1,000 points as a core choice. For special, you have up to 50%, and that is as many Jade Warriors, Crane Gunner teams, and Sky Lanterns as you want. 0 to 2 War Machines, once again, so Fire Rain rocket batteries or Cathayan Grand Cannons. And 0 to 1 units of Jade Lancers may be taken as a special choice. On rare, you've got 25%, right? And that is Jade Lancers and Cathayan Sentinels. Lanterns being on special is kind of funny because obviously you can't really do that. Well, they're not really that strong anymore, so it's going to be quite interesting. Mercenary-wise, by the way, they actively list Badlands Ogre Bulls, which is a shame that, you know, we don't have Cathayan Ogres just yet, especially as we do have the Loaders. But hey, it's a start, and I'm not going to complain because I am happy with what's happening with Cathay so far. We do have a little bit more to talk about too. So, special rules, there's actually quite a few. Discipline of the Dragon is the first one. Once per game during the command sub-phase of your turn, unless engaged in combat, each Sky Lantern in your army may attempt to enact one of the following grand strategies. Yes, each. By making a leadership test. If this test is passed, until your next start of turn sub-phase, all friendly Cathayan units that are currently within 12 inches of that Sky Lantern are affected by the chosen grand strategy. And yeah, you can stack this, which is interesting. So, Defiance of the Dragons. Whilst this grand strategy is in effect, affected units gain the Stubborn special rule. If affected by stubborn already, it becomes unbreakable instead. Strength of the Everlasting Empire. Whilst the strategy is in effect, affected units whose troop type is infantry or cavalry cannot be wounded by the roll of 2 regardless of the attacker's strength. Kinda useful depending on what you're fighting against. Then, Fury of the Falling Blade. Whilst this grand strategy is in effect, affected units whose troop type is regular infantry gain a +1 modifier to their movement characteristic and may re-roll their charge, fleeing, or pursuit rolls. Overall, quite good. And remember, it just has to start the turn with them there, and then you can move them off. They don't have to remain within that 12 inches. Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of like this. It's a very peasantly themed army, and obviously you've got the spearmen now that got strike first, and you've got the bowmen. Very yellow turban-y style, I'd say. We got a little bit more here with Warriors of the Field. Units of Peasant's Levy do not become disrupted by difficult or dangerous terrain. In addition, 0 to 1 Peasant Levy per 1,000 points may have the Move Through Cover special rule for +20 points. I mean, law friendly and stuff, but there's not really a lot of cover and dangerous terrain being placed down. I guess with certain spells, again, it's not a bad thing because at the end of the day, you know, this is a themed list, and these themed lists end up being quite good. Warriors of the Land is next. When a unit of Peasant Levy falls back in good order, it may choose which dice to discard when making its flee roll, rather than automatically discarding the lowest result. Don't know why, but I guess it's just to hold down enemy a little bit closer. Not really had a chance to play around with this just yet, so yeah. As you can imagine, I'm busy. Like I am sorting out my Cathayan big grand army, and it's taking a little bit of a while. I actually just finished the 6th Sentinel. Yes, 6. I want to do a really cool display. I have a really cool idea. And then finally, Warriors of the Wind. 0 to 1 Peasant Levy per 1,000 points may have the Resolve Move and Scout Special rule for 2 points per model. Which, yeah, I mean, they're not expensive, so yeah, and it's not too cheap, you know? I think that's a good thing. And you can only have 2 of them, so it would work quite well for the archers. Actually, fun fact with the book, it's got archer art below it, so yeah, probably that. Alright, so we've got to talk about the new stuff. The first thing is the Astromancers of the Celestial Court. So you've got Supreme Astromancers and Normal Astromancers. Supreme is movement for weapon skill 3. Actually, they've all got similar stats. Ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 3, initiative 3, attacks 2, leadership 8, 125 points per model. Whereas the Normal Astromancer has 1 less wound and 1 less attack for 65 points per model. It's not too bad. It starts off as a level 3 wizard or a level 1 wizard, just as usual, but you can upgrade them to level 2 or level 4 respectively. They know battle magic, elementalism, high magic, illusion, but you can also have them to have the Law of Yin and Law of Yang, and you can have them with a horse, a Cathayan warhorse, for 16 points. The general thing is, special rules is melee attack, melee resistance 1, and mastery of the elemental winds. So that's going into other spellcasters now, where it wasn't just for the Shugengan. It's nice to have spellcasters on foot and mounted on horse. Hopefully we'll be able to get some Shugengan models like that in the future, but until then, this is a really good way to have some cheap spellcasters out there without having to spend all that money. I mean, the Shugengan are still top tier, let's be very honest there, but yeah, I mean, this is great. Again, more spellcasters, more options, more character choices. What's not to love? Alright, Peasant Levy now. So, Peasant Soldiers are movement for weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 3, attacks 1, leadership 5, 4 points per model. You can also have them with a full command, so a Peasant Elder for 8 points, and then a Musician and a Standard Bearer each for 5 points. These have general hand weapons, but you can give them, well, you must give them either long spears or warbows, which warbows are fairly decent. I would have given them longbows, to be honest, considering that those bows are huge. It's actually, I think, bigger than the art that's in the actual book. Special rules wise, they've got Close Order, Horde, and Warband, but you can replace the Close Order with Skirmishers in case you want some skirmishing archers. And also 0 to 1 of them per 1,000 points. You can give them ambushers for 1 point per model, so 5 models, 5 points for the peasant soldiers and stuff, which isn't too bad. The long spear, by the way, gives you fight an extra rank and strike first, which is wild, actually. That's only when the enemies have charged you, which I think is perfectly fine. It's a cheap unit, it's a peasant, right? I don't know why people were expecting these guys to be better than elves. I saw a lot of memes on Reddit. I'm like, holy crap, guys. Yeah, probably the way that the blog from Warcom was worded, but it's not that bad. They're not going to be like super amazing killers, don't worry. Crane Gunner teams are basically just like Scave and Giselle, so movement 4, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, 2 wounds each, initiative 3, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 16 points per model. They can only be in unit sizes of 3 to 8, by the way, unlike the Peasant levy, which is 10 plus. Yeah, I mean, it's expected. They're going to be small. They're in open order, and 0 to 1 per 1,000 points may have the Ambusher special rule for +1 point per model, and can also have reserve special move for 2 points per model. They've got tower shields just like the Giselle, so yeah, free up armor save at the front, and that's it. On the side, it's basically just like the light armor and the usual stuff. And the Crane gun itself, very, very strong. So range 36 inches, strength 6, -2 AP. It's got armor bane 2 also, so potentially, you know, -4 armor, which is great. It's cumbersome, move or shoot, but who's going to be moving that, right? Like that's insane range. Again, it's not really going to get a lot of hits, I guess. Well, depending on how lucky you are with your dice, but yeah, long range snipers. You could already get that with the lantern, but now it's much cheaper, so I think it works out quite well in case you don't want to bring lanterns, which nowadays I don't think a lot of people are going to bring them. The Iron Hell Gunners are the shining glory here, because movement 4, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 3, 1 attack, leadership 7, 12 points per model. They can take a commander, by the way, for 6 points per model, but they start off with hand weapons, Iron Hell guns, light armor. Unit size is 4 to 12, so they're going to be very small. Open order, skirmishers. They can take gunpowder bombs, by the way, for +2 points per model, because as you know, in Total War, we actually have 2 of these units, one with the guns and then one with just the bombs. They're fused up properly here, because that's how it works. So, we have to talk about the gun itself, though. The Iron Hell guns are disgusting, because it's range 12, strength 3, -1 AP, move and shoot, and multiple shots D3 per gun, right? You don't have any negative modifiers for firing at long range, for using multiple shots, and for making a stand and shoot charge reaction. Freaking insane. I don't know, man. This, like, obviously, we saw that with the lantern, so we should be ready for that. Obviously, same thing with the gunpowder bombs. We already know what it does. But I thought that was because, oh yeah, the lantern acts as a howdah, you know? This is very curious. This is very, very curious. Obviously, it's still 12-inch range, so you have to get up close and stuff. But the fact that you still don't minus for basically anything is interesting, to say the least. We're going to have to wait and see on how these perform on the table. I've not had a chance to test it myself, but I see this as a very, very strong unit, which is going to make Cathay kind of strong again. Again, it's not amazing because it's 4 to 6 and 4 to 12, sorry, and you're going to have to run them as a line of 12 if you want all the shots out. Again, I don't want to like pass any judgment on a unit that I've not been able to use just yet, because like, yeah, I want to run it a few times and go from there. I mean, other than that, everything else looks very good. I think we're in a pretty good spot. I'm keen on the brand new, like, updated Grand Army composition list. I think that's very important. New units, always great. It's definitely a good way forward, and I think that's really, really important, because it's like we've been missing out. We've definitely been missing out on units. Cathay launched with a very small roster, a usable roster, but only really because the lantern worked out so well. Now that we have a few other things coming in, I feel like Cathay's starting to feel a bit more established. I can't wait until other stuff comes in, because obviously like the war drum and so on. Hopefully we get that. The book has like a lot of Cathayan terrain, and it sucks that we never really get these shown off as proper terrain, and it's just like studio bits, right? But yeah, I mean, this is good. This is very good. Lore-wise, we'll talk about it in another video in another day, because like I am falling behind with so many things, as you can imagine. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see more. Either more Cathayans, or maybe they'll start pushing towards like getting Kislev out. Obviously, we have seen like some models being radically updated in the past. So hopefully it won't be too long until we actually get to see more updates like Chaos Warriors and stuff. This is good. This is good. I wasn't expecting a slowdown for the old world, and there hasn't really been. So it's good. shows that we're getting support. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the brand new units in the comments below and the new army composition. And yeah, let's have a bit of a discussion. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you all again very, very soon. There's a lot happening recently. And yeah, don't worry. I've got a lot of plans. It's just I'm getting that next painting video sorted. And it's a big one. So yeah, have a good one. Bye.